Okay, so we got the Denver Broncos next. Broncos are a team that definitely is going through their own type of rebuild. The AFC West, unfortunately, is Chiefs' kingdom right now. This is a team that definitely has had some great years in the league. Definitely has won Super Bowl championships. They're trying to get to that aspiration. I do believe that they do have a decent defense. I think they've always had a pretty decent defense, and that's something that really needs to be looked at as a positive for this franchise. It was honestly just trying to figure out what we did, what they could do. Um, for them, it's like, what can we do to become better? We need a leader. We need a piece that's the future, and they didn't think Russ was that. So overall, now they're on to bigger and hopefully better things for them with Bo Nix, and yeah, I mean they're just trying to compete again, and it is definitely always a grind when you're trying to become a contender again. But this team, this organization has had seen some upsides, so there's nothing that says that they cannot overcome it and become a really good team and a playoff type team. It's just going to take a little bit of some time, and there's going to be aches and pains, but at the end of the day, I think they definitely can go back to being elite. Another thing to point out, which I completely forgot about, was also looking at their season. So they were 8-9 last year, 5-4 away, or 5-4 at home, 3-5 away, 3-3 in the division. Scored 357 points, 413 points against. They were 24th in the pass with 191.9, 18th in the rush with 106.5, 19th in points for with 21, and 27th in points against 24.3. So again, this is a defense that is still it's getting better and it still has key positive pieces. So that's what I mean by they've always had, some type of piece where, um, they have been balling out, even though the stats obviously clearly show something else. So again, this is a team that's looking to become contenders. Um, and, I mean, let's take a look at the roster. Roster, we start out with the offensive line like always. They have a three wide receiver, one tight end set. They're starting with the left tackle Garrett Bowles, who's number 8 on my list. Definitely a reliable veteran. Definitely a guy that's a great pass protector. Um, yeah, just a wall, a wall. And I know that he gets he doesn't really get looked at that much, but Garrett Bowles has been a pretty solid guy for Denver for a long time. So he needs the recognition. He deserves recognition. And yeah, having him there is fantastic. Left guard, Ben Powers, honorable mention at the left guard position. He's a great sign when they signed him. Definitely a guy that helped Baltimore and their offensive line on why they had really effective running games. Man, it's really Ben Powers there. So Ben Powers, great at opening some space for what's going to be Javonte Williams, hopefully healthy season. And yeah, Ben Powers has the ability of being an elite guard in the league. Center is going to be Wattenberg. Will he do the job? I mean, he's not really well known. I don't know about him. Can he do his job and do what he needs to do? Be on the same page with Knicks this season. At the right guard, it's Quinn Miners at number 5. You're looking at guys that were very impactful on the run and very impactful, you know, at just being able to hold their ground. It's Quinn Miners. He's had a great year this past year. Definitely a huge piece to Denver. Him and Bowles, have been there through some tough times. So overall, this is a great line right now, especially with Miners and having Powers there. They got two nice interior offensive linemen, so that's always nice to see. Maybe Wattenberg can be that guy as well and make a really good interior line for the team. And at the right tackle, they do have a veteran in Mike McGlinchey, um, the ex 49er. Definitely a guy that, a lot of people really don't look at anymore. It seems like he was kind of the talk of the town when he played for the Niners. Successful offense, he was definitely a huge part of it. I think he's going to be a huge part of it this year. I think he's going to be really good. I think he'll definitely revive his career out here, and I'm excited to see what they do. I think this offensive line is definitely low key one of the best in the NFL, just on paper. When you look at the QB, you do have Bo Nix. Can he be the future? Will he be the future? Um, as a person that lives in the Pacific Northwest, I do want to see Bo Nix achieve what he needs to achieve, and that's superstardom. Like he just he is a guy that has the ability to change a city, change a culture. Um, and I think he's mature enough to realize his mission and what he needs to do. I think he will do good. Fullback Adkins, young fullback, definitely nice to see that young fullbacks in the league. Running back Javonte Williams, honestly, his mission is to stay healthy, dude. I think if he stays healthy, he can be a guy that can finally get 1,000 rushing yards and be super effective with what he needs to be at. With the wide receivers, you do have Cortland Sutton, who's a touchdown machine. He was an honorable mention on my list because of the touchdown machines. His receptions, not off the not like someone that's like off the wall. It's not someone that I'm eye popping, but his touchdowns. He's a touchdown magnet, and definitely Bo Nix is going to want that. So Cortland Sutton is nice to have. At the other side, you do have Josh Reynolds. He's just got to step it up. He's a leader. He's a veteran. Um, he's a veteran that just needs to lead, and hopefully get do his job and pick up really crucial downs, man. Crucial first downs. Make um, nice catches. It doesn't have to be super elite, something that's never seen before. Just do the job. At the slot, you're probably gonna have Marvin Mims. I know he's super young, hasn't really played much, but I think he could be pretty decent. And I mean, I say this for every player as if I know that they're going to be good, because that's not the case. But he is young, so he can be decent. So we'll see how that goes. At the tight end, they do have Adam Troutman, who is definitely a veteran. He's been in the league for a while. He needs to step up into his role, and well, honestly, tight ends are definitely the new receivers right now. So he's just gonna have to step up and become a super big part of their offense, hopefully, for Bo Nix. At the defensive side of the football, they have a 3-4 base. You got Zach Allen, who they had from Arizona. He's got a lot of upside. Last year, he did really well. I think he's going to have another great season. D tackle is Jones, who's reliable. I really do believe he can have a breakout year this year. Maybe crack an honorable mention or top 10, most likely honorable mention. But definitely nice to see that. And then DN Franklin Myers, who needs to step up in general, just hasn't had the numbers since he's been in the league. So this is kind of his prove it kind of moment for him in Denver. With the linebackers, you do have Baron Browning, who needs to stay healthy. I think staying healthy is the key here with him. If he stays healthy, I think he is an exceptional outside linebacker. He just needs to stay healthy and produce. The inside linebackers, you do have Singleton, who was an honorable mention on the list for inside linebackers. He's a tackling machine, has had such great years. Definitely a huge leader. Obviously, him and Josie Jewell, when Josie Jewell was there, they both were feeding off of each other. Now it's just Singleton and Barton. I believe he's going to step into that leadership role. Speaking about Barton, he's the right inside. Barton is a nice sign. He's played his fair share of ball with the Eagles, with the Seahawks. Now in Denver, I think he does have some fantastic stats that he's put up the past couple of years. Hopefully, the trend will still be there for him, and he can continue to improve. At the other outside, you do have Jonathan Cooper, who's still young, still can develop. Definitely, they're wanting him to step it up, and I do believe that he will break out. He had a pretty decent year last year. I think he can break out this year. I think that's going to be one of those guys you got to look for is Jonathan Cooper. With the secondary, you do have Patrick Surtain, who is number two best corner in the game in my list. Um, or yeah, I mean number two. Um, there's not much to really say. He's a shutdown guy. He picks up the best receivers in the game and he shuts them down. And I mean he is with his numbers. They just don't try him. They don't want to try him, or if they do, it's just batted down or it's just contested nicely. And yeah, Patrick Surtain's almost. I feel like sometimes he's just unbeatable. At the other corner, though, you do have Moss, who's young guy, question mark on what he's going to do in the league. Nickelback, McMillan, he has big upside. He had a great year last year, so I'm looking to see what he does this year. And only time will tell. I do believe he's got some upside to him. At the safeties, you do have Jones at free safety. He can be great. He's had a pretty decent season last year. So seeing him on how he can play definitely can step it up. Strong safety, Locke, another guy that can be great, doesn't, not really well known, had a decent year. So having the corners As long as the safeties be on the same page and kind of understand that they can break out, they can have great years, makes this a really possibly fun year for Denver. At the special teams, you do have Will Lutz at the kicker, who's an honorable mention. Veteran type guy, made some great, very important kicks. Dixon, solid punter, and Mims, the kick returner, who is just reliable and fast. So the depth chart, not bad. Yeah, not hating it. Definitely a mixture of some young guys with some guys that just want to prove that they're worth being in the league. All right, the Denver Broncos schedule, man. Yeah, the Green Arrows are wins. I know I talked a lot of upside about this Broncos team. Again, there's a reason why this team is rebuilding. This team is going to be tested, and this team is just going to get better with years, especially with where they can be effective, um, and obviously a contending team. They have to go through these moments. I mean, some of these games can definitely be wins, absolutely, but the way it's set up, I don't believe they will win that many games. I think it will be rough for Bo Nix the first 1 or 2 years. I'm going to give it one. But I think the second year they can definitely explode. And then the third year, I believe they can really, if they make the right moves, maybe good free agents, draft picks, is a team that can definitely creep up in the AFC West. When you look at the schedule, they lost to the Seahawks on Sunday. The next week they're going to play Pittsburgh. I do believe they'll beat Pittsburgh in Denver. Pittsburgh always has an issue with Denver. I mean, it was more Ryan Clark's era, but I believe that Denver just has their number just because of that. Um, at Tampa, at New York Jets, they'll lose both those games. They'll lose versus the Raiders. Then they will play the Chargers and beat them. Go to New Orleans and lose. Play Carolina and lose. Play Baltimore and lose. Play the Chiefs and lose. Play the Falcons and Raiders and lose. And then they will beat the Browns in Denver, have their bye, lose to the Colts, the Chargers, and the Bengals, and then close it out with a very surprise win. Probably having their starters go out though early, but still surprise win against the Chiefs. So overall, 4-13 is their final record. I know it hasn't improved because it was 4-13 last year, um, or it was 8-9. So they're going backwards. It feels like, but it's still a team that's um, it's going to go through some hardship. But then I think they can, like I said, come back, reevaluate, get more key pieces. I think they can compete, in the future.